Guys, we're back. Season 2 of the Cincinnati Reds MLB The Show 22 franchise mode. And Season 1, not really anything surprising. Didn't make the playoffs, finished under 500. Tried to add a few free agents, didn't really go crazy in the spending. I figured pitching, we really need to add some depth, some guys who could kind of be in our rotation beyond next year. So we added Noah Syndergaard, 2-year deal. 22.5 million a year, a little pricey, but it is Thor. He's coming off a really, really good year. Pitched over 200 innings, was healthy, had a 2.22 ERA. So I added him to this rotation. And obviously with Tyler Mahle and Luis Castillo going to hit free agency after next year, didn't really know if they would be around. So it was good to add that starting pitcher who would be around for at least another season. And then we also have Nick Lodolo, young guy, 25, A potential, could really develop into something. Had a pretty solid year last year. And then we have Justin Dunn and Hunter Green going to be fighting for that 5th spot. One of them will be our long relief pitcher. And then we added a few pieces of the bullpen. TJ Antone, obviously our best relief pitcher. And then we have Will Smith. We added him on a 1-year deal, $2.5 million. And after the year he had last year, he was hurt. So really hoping for a bounce back year. Maybe we trade him. And then Renato Lopez, we've got him from the White Sox. And he's really been really solid. He could be a rotation piece. He could be a long relief pitcher. So really he could fill a variety of roles. And we also had him in the closer role, and he was really solid in that role. And then Chasen Shreve, a guy we added, another cheap free agent. And then Eric Swanson we got in the trade. We still got him for another few years. And Luis Cessa, another guy who had a really good year last year. So our bullpen's not anything to write home about, but it's a solid bullpen going next year. It's definitely better than the year before. We got some guys maybe we could trade. Maybe guys could be long-term pieces. And then Lucas Sims is probably going to be our closer. Had a good year last year. I mean, you could probably make the debate. He's our best relief pitcher. Really, him and TJ Antone really could argue either one of those guys. And then the lineup, we added Trey Mancini. Him and Votto will probably be platooning, lefty and righties. Mancini wasn't really very expensive, $5.6 million. He didn't have the best year last year, but you know, Great American Ballpark, a hitter's ballpark, could have a bounce back year. And then Jonathan India, obviously second base. Drury we brought back, $7.5 million a year. Isn't really too bad. He had a career year last year. And for the Cincinnati Reds, Ferrelli's having a career year. So really, it seems like he's found a home in Cincinnati, so that's good. Kyle Farmer was going to go out and get another shortstop, but I figured, is it really worth it? We got 2 young shortstops developing, and then Jordan Lawler we got in a trade last year. He's already a 68 potential, only 20 years old, so maybe next year he could be our everyday shortstop, or Matt McLean as well. He can kind of play all over the diamond, not really exclusively a shortstop. And then Jake Fraley, we were going to get in free agency and get an outfielder, but there was just too many guys who wanted a lot of money, so we're going to kind of have a lot of guys platooning. We did add Joey Gallo, which I think for $12 million a year is a steal. Coming off a down year, but in Great American Ballpark, like I said in Season 1, I think Joey Gallo will have a monster season in Great American Ballpark. But Jay Allen, really the guy I'm excited about. He's only 20. We're going to give him an opportunity to play every day. Maybe platoon, we'll see. He's not going to be a power guy, but he's got excellent speed, excellent fielding. His contact's developing, and I think he could be our center fielder for the future. And we brought back Albert Amora Jr., really played well last year. Didn't play a lot, but played well when he got the opportunity. And then, like I said, Jake Fraley didn't have a great year, but we could really see what he's got. And then we also got Nick Plummer from the Mets, signed him as a free agent. And really might have to sign a few more free agents, but I really like our team, especially pitching in the major league level-wise. I think these 3 could be our big 3. Nothing crazy, but they definitely all 3 could have really good years, and maybe, just maybe, lead us into a wild card run. If we make a run at the division, I'd be very surprised. But we'll see how this season goes. So I'm going to send the draft, and I will let you guys know how I did. We're back, just finished the draft, and really a solid draft. I think we got some good young players to look forward to, no deep potentials. So I'm starting to get a little bit better at drafting. If you guys saw me in the Pirates series, the draft was a little shaky, but I think with the Reds, I've been better at drafting. Austin Burrows, obviously Votto's declining in overall. His contract's coming up soon. And with Mancini only on a 1-year deal, depending on how he performs, is he our first baseman in the future? So I decided to draft the first baseman. It was a really good pick. He's B potential, only 19, a lefty bat, 62 overall. So he could develop maybe by season 4 and be our everyday first baseman. We'll see. William Morrow, starting pitcher. Obviously, Syndergaard, Castillo, and Malley. We don't know if they're going to be here long term. Got to get some pitching depth. Maybe we could use them in trades. But he could develop pretty quickly. He's 23, so he's a little bit more developed than some of the younger college prospects. But he's going to be probably a high AAA pitcher, AA pitcher next year. See how he develops. Pedro Cuevas, just the right fielder. You know, our outfield's a little shaky. Obviously, we got Gallo, but, you know, just need some depth there. Bucky Cutliff, closing pitcher. We didn't really have much closing pitchers in the system. Decided why not. He's looking like a steal. He's only B potential, 19. So he could be in our bullpen possibly by next season if he really develops quickly. Frank Washington, just a relief pitcher we picked up. Lefty. And I think the only lefty we got at the major league level is Will Smith. That might be something we need to look at the trade deadline. But really, solid pick. And then Bobby Lester, another relief pitcher. Probably not going to be developing anything, but still just good to have that depth. So that's how our draft went, and I will see you guys at the trade deadline. The trade deadline, looking at the standings, it's a 4-team race. Us, the Redbirds, the Brew Crew, and the Cubbies are all within 4 games of each other. It's really going to be a dogfight. Whichever team goes on a hot streak or a team that makes that big trade to really boost their team is going to run away with it. And really, looking at the wild card, the Dodgers and the Rockies got a sizable lead, nothing crazy. We're 6.5 back. The Marlins are 4, Phillies 5.5. But the Dodgers and Rockies are looking like they're going to have this wild card unless they just go on a massive losing streak. And you've seen anything in baseball. Anything can happen in baseball. The Dodgers could go losing, and the Marlins go on a run, or we go on a run, or the Phillies and run away with it. So we'll have to see what happens there. But, yeah, it's looking like the Central Division is really our only hope. So we're going to see how everybody's been performing, see what moves maybe need to be made to help our team try to make this playoff run. So Jonathan India, second base is covered. He's had a great year, going to have a career year, and really nice to see him keeping that consistency with his power and average, and good to see. Albert Amora Jr., we could use an outfielder when you look at it overall, but he's really had a good year. I mean, 276 average, slugging over 400, great year for him. Tyler Stevenson, don't know how his overall is dropping. He's having a fantastic year, slugging over 500, 13 bombs, and hit his career high in almost every category. So that's good to see, career year from Tyler Stevenson. We got him locked up for a number of years, cheap deal. So that works as well. Joey Gallo's having a good year. Nothing crazy, but a good year. He's going to have a better year than he did last year. So that's good to see. We were getting a lot of trade offers for Joey Gallo. I didn't show you guys any of them because none of them were really nothing crazy. But solid trades were offered. Like I said, nothing crazy, but I just figured we're 1.5 games out of first place. We need a big power bat in the middle of that lineup. I still think he's a great addition to Great American Ballpark, that lefty swing, that hitter's ballpark. So I think he's worth keeping personally, so we're going to keep him around. Trey Mancini, really power-wise, not a great year, but everything else isn't really terrible. I mean, he has a 290 average, or close to 290 average. Slugging solid, OPS isn't bad. I mean, just not really showing much power, but overall, not a terrible year so far from Trey Mancini. Nick Senzel with Drury and Votto out. Drury's not out for too long. I think it's a 2 to 3 week, but Votto's out, I think, until the playoffs. So that's not really a huge loss because he was only hitting like 190. But it's going to give other guys opportunity to step up. And obviously the Reds have been very high on Nick Senzel. As you see, he's been hurt the last 3 years, just hasn't played a lot. But hopefully, you know, he can be maybe a utility guy off the bench. You see he can play second, third, short, left, center, right. So he can play almost everywhere. So he just has to stay healthy and be consistent. Not a bad year for him so far. Jake Fraley, not a bad year. We're giving him opportunities to play more often than he usually does. He's going to have his career high in games. He's going to have probably a career year overall. Well, not probably. He is probably already having a career year when you look at it. So it's good to see. Sometimes you just have to give guys opportunities to play and see what they can do. And Jake Fraley and Albert Amora Jr. are two guys that are a perfect example of that. They're not having historic numbers or nothing crazy, but they're putting up solid numbers. And it might be because of Great American Ballpark, but I mean, this is a hitter-friendly ballpark. Kyle Farmer, struggling. Probably won't bring him back after the season, but he's going to be our shortstop this year. Hopefully he has a better second half. Maybe we look to trade for a shortstop. We'll see what's out there. Tyler Nevin, playing where Drury's usually playing third base. We brought him back. He was a free agent. And, I mean, nothing, crazy, but he's played well. And Jay Allen, he's young, not really playing a lot, but he's getting that experience at the major league level. Jose Barrero, we recently called him up because of the Drury injury. Hasn't really played, so can't really say it's a bad or good year. Daniel Velahojan, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Velahojan, not bad. Hasn't played a lot, but not bad when he's played. And Alejo Lopez, nothing crazy, but just a guy to have off the bench. Decent contact. And we look at the pitching side. Thor's having a solid year. 3.50 ERA. Obviously, he's not going to have the numbers he had last year, especially pitching in a hitter's ballpark. But, not a bad year. And Tyler Malley's having an excellent year, soon to be free agent, so that's good to see from him. And maybe we bring him back if he keeps this year up. Luis Castillo, really the opposite of what you'd hope for his final year before free agency. ERA of 4.62. And maybe he can turn around in the second half, but it's not looking good so far. Justin Dunn's been excellent. We recently moved Hunter Green to the bullpen, moved him to the starting rotation. It's worked. 2.61 ERA. So that's good to see. He has 2 saves as well when he was out of the bullpen. And then Nick Lodolo's had a few nagging injuries, but he's stayed healthy for the most part. And he's having a solid year. Hunter Green, like I said, was struggling. ERA is not where we want it. Maybe this move with the bullpen to help him out, get him to where we need to be. And then Ronaldo Lopez having another solid year. It seems like his ERA is always around 3.5. Eric Swanson's having a great year. Luis Cesa's not having a great year. We sent Eric Yardley down to the minor leagues. He was just not doing well. Had an ERA of like 10.50 in 8 innings, so just wasn't really working. We need another lefty, and Chase and Shreve was pitching well in the minor league, so him and Will Smith to be our lefties out of the bullpen. Will Smith's not having a fantastic year, but it's solid. It's nothing crazy, but, he's cheap, so we'll keep him. See how he does the second half. TJ Antone's having an excellent year. Lucas Sims having an excellent year, 30 for 35 in save opportunities. So our team, the outfield and shortstop offensively could be what we look at. And maybe a starter, maybe some bullpen help. So let's see what's out there on the trade block. Cedric Mullins is obviously somebody, I know I botched that terribly, my bad about that, but Cedric Mullins is somebody we could look to get. He's having a great year, 22 bombs, 57 runs batted in, 282 average, and he's been consistent. So he could be someone we look at. Kevin Kiermaier, which I didn't realize got traded to the Twins, or he signed with the Twins as a free agent. Not having a great year offensively. Definitely would help out our defense. And then Brian Reynolds obviously would be good to get as well, but I don't think the Pirates are going to trade him within the division if we're being realistic. And, there's a few pieces out there we could get. Shortstop, I'm not seeing anything that's really that much of an upgrade. Unless we get somebody young like Greg Jones, but we already have 2 young pitchers or young shortstops in the minor leagues. Could get Aledmys Diaz for like a year, but he's kind of around the same overall as Kyle Farmer. Wouldn't really be that much of an upgrade. Could we go out and get someone like Zach Plesac from the Cleveland Guardians? That would be a consideration. Scott Alexander would be somebody we could look to get out of the bullpen. He's having a good year. Maybe we trade Will Smith and somebody else with him. He's cheaper than Will Smith. Not by a lot, but, he's on a cheaper contract. He's about the same age. He's having a better year. That's something we consider. And maybe we go out and get someone like Alex Wood, but he's already in Cincinnati. It didn't really work out too well, so I don't know if that'd be something that we'd like to explore. And Griffin Canning could be an option. Probably take a lot to get him. There's just not a lot out there that's really like must get. Could get Michael Fulmer, but depends. He's on a cheap deal, not really too expensive. And then Jose Jesus Luzardo could be another option for us. Not having a great year, but he's young. Could have him in the rotation for a few years, and that would be good to have. So that's somebody we could look to get. So there's a few options out there, and I think we're gonna go for Cedric Mullins. I know we have this young center fielder, but I think maybe if we offer him, I think I'm gonna offer Jake Fraley, Matt McLean, and maybe Alfonso Rivas. We're offering a little bit, but it's not overpaying for Cedric Mullins, but it's definitely something that'll help our team. Adds another lefty bat into that lineup. He reunites with Mancini, buddies from Baltimore. And, you know, I think he helps our team tremendously in the outfield, defensively, and we still keep Jay Allen as well, which I was tempted to trade him, but I really want to see what he develops into being. I know that might shock some of y'all. Like, man, y'all got to try to win right now. You only got 4 years, but he's only 20 and he's already a 74 overall. So I'm going to move him to left field. I feel like it's going to help his overall as well. Nah, I dropped it. Yeah, I think it went down 1, but nothing crazy. But, you know, we add Cedric Mullins, put him in center field. We move Almora to left field, and I think that's what'll help out our team. And any other moves, I don't know if we should really make any other moves. Definitely debatable, but, you know, Cedric Mullins is such a huge addition to this team. I think it'll work out for the best. I really do, and I think he's going to be a huge difference maker for our team overall. And when you have him, Gallo, Stevenson, and Mancini, it's really a good, and India as well, really a good 1 through 5 punch in our lineup. And if we get Drury back, I know he's had a down year. And really, looking at the trade block, I mean, there's a few stars we can go after, but I really like our rotation, and I think we're set. So I will see you guys at the end of the season. Hopefully this addition of Mullins helps us out, and I will see you guys in the season. And we just missed winning the division, 1 game back of the Cardinals, who finished 90 and 72. We finished 89 and 73. Let's see how the wild card went. We finished second in the wild card, and we're going to be facing the Padres. That actually surprises me because there was a lot of teams in front of us. The Marlins, the Phillies, who just really fell off. The Rockies went on a bad streak. And it looks like the Dodgers went on a huge run. They were just like first in the wild card, but man, they just went on a massive run. So really credit to that team. So let's see who won all the awards around the National and American League. Ronald Acuna Jr. won MVP, and then MVP in the American League was Vladdy, which isn't surprising. Cy Young, Zach Wheeler, who's on the Cardinals now, had an excellent year, and then Lucas Giolito in the American League. And then Manny Machado won the batting title, and in the American League, Xander Bogaerts. And then reliever of the year, Taylor Rogers for the NL, AL, Emmanuel Clase. And then rookie of the year, J.J. Bleday from the Cubs, who got traded there, looks like. And then Josh Jung from the Rangers. And then we go to Hank Aaron, Aaron Judge, who had a monster year. Still crazy, signed with the Rangers in the offseason. And then the NL, Ronald Acuna Jr., Gold Glove, Walker Buehler, and Cole Irvin. Catcher Gold Glove, Kyber Ruiz, and Salvador Perez. First base Gold Glove was Matt Olson, Ryan Mountcastle. And then second base was Segura and Jorbit Vivas, who's a rookie for the Orioles. Man, look at these stats. Wow. 22, already at 80 overall. Definitely was a top pick they got in the draft. His defense looks phenomenal. A great pick from them. And then NL, Nolan Arenado missed out. Ryan McMahon won the Gold Glove. And the NL and the AL, Santiago Espinal won it for the Blue Jays. And then shortstop, David Fletcher and Frankie Lindor. And then left field was Tyler O'Neill and Seth Brown. Center field, Brian Reynolds and Brett Phillips. And Anthony Santander and Sayo Suzuki for the right field. So no rewards for us, unfortunately, but we still had a really good year. So let's see how everybody did real quick before we get to this wild card. Jonathan India had a great year, 25 home runs, 68 runs batted in, 282 average. Just a great career year for him. That's good to see. Cedric Mullins brought him into Cincinnati from the Orioles, and he was fantastic. 31 home runs, 90 runs batted in, 286 average, slugging over 500. Really what we wanted out of Cedric Mullins, and he helped us go on a run to make the wild card. So really that move was great from us to make. Tyler Stevenson didn't hit much home runs, only hit, I think, 1 home run between the All-Star break and now, but maybe 2, but still a great year. 61 runs batted in. Still had a career year, even hitting about 2 home runs in that span. Just a great year for him. Joey Gallo finished with 31 home runs, 85 runs batted in, which is his highest since 2018, which is good. So really, the deals worked out. Him and Mullins have been a force in our lineup. Trey Mancini had a great year. The power was down, but he still had 72 runs batted in. Slugging was solid. OPS was solid. Nick Senzel had a good year. Limited role, but had a really good year. Albert Amora Jr. had a good year. 13 bombs, 65 runs batted in, which is a career high. So he really drove in a lot of runs, had good average. Kyle Farmer ended up finishing around what he's done the last 2 years. Man, he's 1 home run short. But, I mean, he's been pretty consistent. I know we were looking at a shortstop, but there was really nobody out there that really made me think, should we trade anybody for him? So, really had a solid second half. Brandon Drury just had a terrible year. He was hurt, but he still played 120 games, just could not get it going offensively. Hopefully next year he gets it going, or maybe look to get a different third baseman. Jay Allen had an okay first year. Still developing. He'll be a bench bat, maybe platoon bat in the playoffs. Jose Barrero, nothing crazy, but didn't really play too much. Joey Votto just didn't have a good year. He was hurt, just could never get it going offensively. It's looking like he might retire, and if he don't, we ain't going to bring him back. But maybe we can win him a World Series this final year. We'll see how it goes. Vela Hojan, not bad. I mean, didn't really have a bad year. Didn't play a lot, but, I mean, he made the most of his opportunities. And Alejo Lopez didn't have a bad year either. And then we go look at the pitching side. Noah Syndergaard had an excellent year, 3.35 ERA, threw over 200 innings again, so he was healthy. He was on the mound a lot, so that's good to see. Tyler Mahle was also excellent. Luis Castillo just didn't have a really good year. He struggled. Hopefully in the playoffs he can give us some good, starts, at least 5-6 innings. Nick Lodolo had another good year. And Hunter Green, it seems like they moved him back to the rotation, which I don't really get. Justin Dunn, we're going to move him back for the playoffs, but he was really good. Hunter Green just could never really get it going this year. ERA of 5.26 and just struggled. Ronaldo Lopez had a great year. Eric Swanson was solid. Luis Cessa got that ERA down when he pitched more. Chase and Shreve only pitched 2 innings, but man, he struggled in those 2 innings. Will Smith got that ERA down a little bit, not a bad year overall. TJ Antone had a bad second half. ERA went up a lot. Eric Yarley, they brought back up, just hasn't been it. And Lucas Sims saved 51 games, 51 out of 56 in save opportunities. So that's really impressive for him. So we go to the playoffs. And this is going to be an interesting game for us and the Padres, because this is a do or die game. And we're on the road. We're facing Tatis. We got Thor on the mound. We got a solid lineup. Let's do it.
Take your base.
So first inning, we can't get anything going. And let's see if Thor can give us a good outing, good start. We just need a little bit of offense, because this Padres lineup looking pretty stacked. They got Jock Peterson now, and it's going to be a battle. So no team has scored yet, and I might have just jinxed that. Yep, 1-0, and we're down by 1. And Brandon Drury, who has struggled for all the regular season, ties up the game. Great swing of the bat by Brandon Drury, and that's good. And Thor keeps it tied heading into the 6th inning. We need some offense. Maybe one more inning out of Thor. He's really throwing a good game. Maybe probably another inning after this. But Joe Musgrove is just dominating. This has really been a pitching duel. We're heading into the 8th inning. Joe Musgrove still. Well, never mind. Luis Garcia comes in. Triple by Kyle Farmer. But we can't get him home. Third base, nobody out, and we can't score. Thor gives us another good inning. That was a risk leaving him out there. They put in Adam Kolarek. And we just can't score. I'm going to leave Thor out there for one more. It's looking like it's time to take him out. So we're going to put in Will Smith facing 2 lefties. He gets the job done. I'm going to leave him in for one more inning. He gets it done. Good pitching there by Will Smith. Tyler Stevenson, Joey Gallo, and Mancini failed to score. We're going to do a pitching change. Actually, maybe one more inning. Face these 2 lefties. Gives up a single. We're going to bring in TJ Antone. He gets out of the inning. Yu Darvish is pitching. Looks like they moved him to the bullpen. And double play. We leave TJ Antone in another inning. He gets it done. And, man, this has really been a no-offense kind of game. And both bullpens have been excellent. And this has really been this is our opportunity right here, though, to get a run. Double play, and we still can't get the run home. That is unfortunate. We're going to bring in Renato Lopez. He gives up a double, and they win the game with a walk-off hit. And our offense lets us down in this game. Very unfortunate there. And what a terrible game to end the season. The Guardians win the World Series. And Joey Votto does not retire, which is very surprising. But, man, that was a brutal way to end the season. Going to sign some free agents. Or not sign some free, but re-sign our free agents. And I will see you guys in free agency. And there's a lot of positions that are kind of a question mark right now. We have first base, shortstop, the starting rotation. Obviously, Malley could come back along with Castillo. We offer them qualifying offers, but really, what those 2 decide to do is really going to impact what we do in free agency starting pitching-wise. And when you look at our roster, our starting pitching is not bad. We got Syndergaard for another year. Lodolo, Dunn, and Green are all developing, all still young, so they're going to play a role in that. But if they both decline the qualifying offers, we're probably going to have to get a starter or 2. And then the bullpen's just not really looking great. We definitely need some bullpen help. I offered Jose Alvarado a deal, 3-year, $10 million. Offered a few free agents deals, nobody crazy yet. But Jose Alvarado, he's a lefty. Will Smith's gone. Probably not going to bring him back. And then closer, we're good. Lucas Sims. Catcher, we got Bella Hogan and Stevenson. We're good there. First base, definitely up for grabs. Jake Bauers is still young. He's been having solid years in the minor leagues, but I mean, I think Miguel Sano would be a good option. I offered him a 2-year, $13 million deal, and he's coming off a 40 home run campaign, and him in the Great American Ballpark would be pretty electric. Him and Gallo and Mullins, so I think he'd be a great righty bat to add to our lineup, and really a great upgrade. He's younger than Mancini by 2 years, and he has more power than Mancini. And Mancini wasn't bad, like I said, but just we need more power. I feel like Joey Gallo and Mullins are the only power guys we really have. India's getting there, Stevenson's getting there, but we need another power bat, and I think Miguel Sano could be that guy. And then we go to second base, Jonathan India. I mean, he's got it on lock. There ain't no point even getting another second baseman. He's good to go there. Third base, Drury had a down year. Is he our everyday answer moving forward? That's debatable. We have a lot of good third basemen. Rafael Devers, Matt Chapman, Brian Anderson, Escobar, Gio Urshela. So there's a lot of good third basemen available. Shortstop, there's a few good ones. Nobody like crazy. No Trey Turners or Lindors or anybody like that. But Mondesi's a good shortstop. Kiner Falefa, Ahmed Rosario. But I really think Jordan Lawler deserves an opportunity. And I think if we get Sano, I think our lineup will be good enough where we could have a rookie shortstop. So I'm going to give Jordan Lawler an opportunity. Maybe Kyle Farmer, we bring him back just to have kind of that veteran guy to lead him at shortstop. But I think he'll be good to go. Then the outfield, Jay Allen and Robert Amora Jr. will probably split the time in left field. And then Cedric Mullins is our center fielder, even though Bader would be great to have. But, I mean, we have Cedric Mullins. We're good to go. Even Cody Bellinger would be good to have. Could we sign somebody like Cody Bellinger and put him at first base? I think that'd be good, but we'd have too many lefties, I feel like, in that lineup. But I'm a huge Cody Bellinger fan. It sucks he's kind of fell off the last few years. I don't know if it's injuries or teams have figured him out, maybe a change of scenery. But that's definitely somebody I could consider, you know. Maybe put him in the DH spot. We do need a DH. So, I'm going to offer Cody Bellinger a deal. I'm tempted now because he's a bounce-back candidate. I'm going to offer him 2 years, $16 million. Might be a little pricey for Cody Bellinger, but we could platoon him in Sano. There's a lot of options we could do with that. And thinking about it really made me want to get Cody Bellinger in Cincinnati. So we offered him a deal. Not going to be our outfielder, like I said, probably more of a first base DH guy. So we'll see how that goes. And really with his fielding, I shouldn't even say a DH. Maybe we put Mullins in DH, even though Mullins is a solid outfield. We have a lot of options, so we're really looking good there. And really relief pitching. Maybe offer somebody like Matt Barnes a 1-year deal. You know, he's not going to be too expensive, maybe 4.5. See if he accepts that. And then starting pitching, like I said, we got to wait on Malley and Castillo to make their decisions because we don't really know how much money we're going to have to throw around, especially if Sano signs and Bellinger signs. So I will sim a little bit, and I will let you guys know what they do, and I will see you guys then. Tyler Malley decided to decline the qualifying offer. And that's huge because we now need to go out and get another starting pitcher. And it looks like Luis Castillo ain't going to accept it either. So we really need to find somebody that could take their spot because we're going to look kind of depleted in depth-wise if we lose both those guys. So there's some options. Obviously, Blake Snell. I mean, we're kind of looking for guys who ain't going to command a lot of money. Jordan Montgomery would be a good candidate. Jordan Hicks, do we bring somebody like that in? He's still young. There's a lot of possibilities out there. I think Joe Ross would be a good addition as well. So we're going to offer Joe Ross a deal. 1 year, $10 million. It's not really too cheap, but it's nothing crazy. And maybe sign somebody like Chad Kuhl just to have him as depth purposes, offer him a $4 million deal and see if they accept. So I will see you guys at the beginning of season 3 and let you know the moves we make. It's over, final part of the video, and then it will be season 3 in the next video. But the rotation, we lost Malley, we lost Castillo. Malley was kind of a tough loss. Castillo had a down year, but we signed Jordan Hicks. We have Syndergaard for another year, so hopefully he has another solid year. Probably bring him back and have him be a part of the final year of this franchise. We'll see. Jordan Hicks, really, I know his numbers don't show, but I think he's going to be really good. He's got electric stuff, and he's going to be a great part of this rotation moving forward. Nick Lodolo, we're going to give more of an opportunity. He's been our 5th starter, 4th starter, so he's moving up to that 3rd spot. He's been really good, so hopefully he can keep that up. Justin Dunn as well has been really good, and hopefully he can keep up that consistency he had last year. The first year, he wasn't really good. Hunter Green struggled, but I think this year will be the year he has a good year. He'll be in that 5th spot. He's still only 24, so we'll see how that goes. And then we don't really have a long relief pitcher. We'll probably put Ronaldo Lopez in that role again. We signed Jose Alvarado. He had a down year last year, but we needed a lefty out of this bullpen. We lost Will Smith and Chase and Shreve. Matt Barnes, we ended up bringing in on a 1-year deal, $4.5 million. Had a great year last year, so hopefully he's a huge part of this bullpen. TJ Antone had a solid year last year as well. He's back. Ronaldo Lopez is back. Swanson, Yardley we brought back just to have a depth option. Might be in the major leagues, but not in nothing like really huge, not a huge role to this team, I should say. And then we have Alexis Diaz, who's a young guy. Hasn't really been in the major leagues, but he could be a guy we call up and kind of see what he can do if Yardley or somebody else struggles. And then Lucas Sims will be our closer. Saved 51 games last year, so really, hopefully he can have that same consistency this year because he was electric last year. And then Tyler Stevenson will be our catcher. Vela Hojan will be our backup catcher. We signed Miguel Sano, and coming off a 40 home run campaign, it was hard to not sign him, especially with his ballpark. And we'll see how he does. India will be a second base still. Third base will be Drury. Last year of his deal. Hopefully he has a bounce back year. And hopefully he's a huge part of our offense. And Kyle Farmer, brought him back. Wasn't really expensive. $3.6 million, really not bad for the years he's been having. But Jordan Lawler will be our everyday shortstop, and I think our lineup's deep enough where he don't have to play a huge role offensively. And we'll see how he performs. Maybe we'll platoon him, but it seems like he's gonna be our everyday shortstop. Jay Allen will platoon with Almora and Senzel out in the outfield. Maybe one of those guys will be in the minor leagues, but it's looking like they will both be at the major league level. And then Mullins will be our center fielder. And then, like I said, Bellinger, really wanted him. Probably going to put him at first base. Don't really have room in the outfield. Unless we put him at DH as well. We could have maybe DH, play first. If we have an injury, he could play the outfield. So really not a bad deal. $8 million for 2 years. He had a good year last year. Maybe he has a bounce back year this year and really becomes a huge part of this offense. Then we have Joey Gallo, of course, in right field. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the season 2. And season 3, we're hoping to make a huge run. So I will see you guys for season 3.